Well, my friends, I'm back. I'm back after a little bit of a hiatus, and it's going to take me a minute to get back into the groove of things. But what's up, everybody? My friends, my name is Nixxiom, and welcome back to another exciting stream. Hope everybody's doing well. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot that's been going on. Hiatus. And oh wait, let me turn that off. Sorry about that. What is? Oh, I see. Hold on 1 second. Everything's like bugging out. Why is everything bugging out? Wait, hold on. Why am I hearing myself like 4 times over right now? What do I have open? Oh, there it is. I figured it out. I figured out what the problem was. Okay, cool. Talking, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't hear myself now. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, it wouldn't be a Nixxiom stream without a little bit of technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, a lot has been going on, fellas. There's a lot to talk about. I know that there's quite a number of people who have been slightly peeved at me for not streaming more. So let me just kind of give you a quick update as to what's been going on and also explain things for anybody that's here for the very first time. So first and foremost, I guess before I go into like a quick little explanation, do I sound good? Everything sounds fine, you know, game, microphone, whatever. It's been a little bit since I've streamed. So, you know, if I sound good, you know, just give me a thumbs up. And if I sound terrible, just give me a thumbs down, you know, and I can fix it real fast. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Hector is going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just went into Harry's and bought 3 T66 turbos with NOS. Yeah, dude, like that it'd be like that, man. Anyway, everyone says I sound good. Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit for those that don't know, but I recently moved. Maybe you guys have seen in like the videos and stuff, but I'm in a new location. And if you've been on like some of the streams that I did since moving in here, you know that this location, although it has been fantastic living here, it has had its problems. Specifically in the fact that it's an old home, and so it has needed a lot of renovation. And so Nixxiom here, you know, I've been busy, like just kind of renovating the home and bringing it up to speed and making it a modern home, replacing outlets and stuff, and now working outside in the yard now that springtime is here. It's been a lot of work. For those that don't know as well, the past few months, me and the wife have been preparing for something pretty major. And it has finally happened. And because it has finally happened, this has actually, oddly, given me a window to actually start streaming again. And what is that something, you might be wondering? Well, I can officially say that I now have a daughter. She was born on May 17th. She is currently, what is that, 9 days old? I think today's 26, right? Yeah, it's 26. So 9 days old. And it was an experience, not just, you know, preparing, but my wife went through a very, very difficult labor. 31 hours specifically. But she soldiered through it, and now we have a little girl. Her name is Anastasia, or just Annie for short. And honestly, it hasn't been that bad. Yeah, everyone kind of like hypes up these big horror stories when it comes to like having children. Like, dude, it's gonna be shit, bro. Like, it's gonna be terrible, like, as soon as you have that kid. Honestly, it's been kind of cool. I mean, like, as long as you and like the lady friend have like good communication, and you're like, okay, you watch the kid for 4 hours, and then I'll watch the kid for 4 hours. It's not that bad. I see that I just got a super chat. Hold on, let me open up this thing over here that actually allows me to see stuff. One moment, my friend. Let's see. Viewer. Man, what was that super chat? It's not even showing me the damn thing. Friend, I'm so sorry. Like, if you just want to type your message in the chat, like, that would be great. But for some reason, this thing over here is not showing me your super chat. But I saw it pop up over here. I saw it. Thank you. I don't even know what your name was, but thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know why this thing's bugging out, not showing me any alerts, but thank you very much. Congratulations, Nixxiom. Thank you very much. Thank you. But yeah, it really hasn't been that hard. It hasn't been too difficult. I mean, I'm kind of tired, I admit, because I'm not like sleeping in full, like, you know, 8-hour intervals. It's more like 2 hours or 3 hours multiple times a day. Emerald Crusade, if you wish to answer, what is the name of your kid? My child's name is Anastasia, or we just call her Annie for short. So kind of tired, but it hasn't really been too bad. The wife's currently watching the kid, and then once I'm done here, you know, I'll probably watch her for a few hours. I'll probably hang out with the guys for like 2 hours or something like that. Not too long. I do have some YouTube stuff to take care of as well, because I have been busy with kids stuff over the past like week, so I am a bit behind schedule. So I'm kind of like kicking myself in the ass for that. But the goal is to not only get back on the ball with YouTube, but even get back into like streaming and stuff going forward. And I feel very inspired, I admit. I will say that having like a child definitely it inspires you in a way that I don't. It's a very curious way. I can't really describe it, but you just feel very you feel very like full of joy, I suppose. Is she named after the Princess of Russia? No. So my wife and I were debating on names for a while, and ultimately Anastasia was her choice. So I personally really wanted the name Frida. Just Frida, but with a TH, so Frida. But my wife was like, no, let's do Anastasia, because she really likes multiple syllable names that can be reduced to like a tiny cute name. You know, Anastasia to Annie. Cut the bullshit. How beautiful to be bad. It's pretty nice, dude. It's honestly pretty nice. I'll say as well. Wait, hold on. Let me finish one topic and I'll jump to the other. But yeah, my wife really likes multiple syllable names that can be reduced to a simple cute name. So ultimately we decided to go with Anastasia. Cody Rotted.
Holy moly, he lives. How? Congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you, dude. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. No, what was I gonna say? There's so much to talk about. Like, I'll answer your question in 1 second, Dark Ender. Second thing to say is a lot of people are very intimidated by cleaning up poop and vomit. Now listen. I don't know about you guys, but like I don't like it when people poop on me.
We can finally call Nixxiom a daddy for real now, Nixlo.
I ain't about that life. I am about thanking for that 12-month resub. Thank you very much, dude. But I will say that having been pooped on multiple times at this point and been thrown up on multiple times at this point, it's really not that bad. Sub alerts are a little loud. All right, let me turn that down a little bit. There we go. Make them louder. No. It's really not that bad. You get used to it pretty fast. Like after you like change like 3 diapers, like you got it. Like you just, everything is just like, oh, whatever. So that's been kind of cool. I'm kind of like the main like diaper changer in the house, just because my wife, like, she's still recovering from, like I said, she was in labor for 31 hours. They did everything to her. Like, you name it, she had to go through it. It sucked. It was scary. But anyway, You get used to the poop. You honestly get used to the poop, you know? You get used to, like, being covered in poo and being covered in vomit and stuff. Like, you know, you never think that you would, but you just kind of like, oh, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Let me just go wash my hands real fast, you know? Or what you do is you just don't wash your hands. You don't wash up, and then you just don't tell anyone when you go out in public and just shaking people's hands and stuff. It's fine. Anyway, the diaper whisper. The Dark Ender, he said, I've seen you in a couple Turtle WoW videos. Do you ever play Turtle WoW at all by chance? I would never play on a filthy, disgusting private server. Who do you think I am? When you look at this face, does this look like someone that would play on a private server secretly and not tell you about it? Exactly. That's what I thought. Anyway. But yes, I'm the diaper whisperer. Your voice is dead quiet, but then again, I have Morrowind blasting, so that's probably what I'm doing. I'll turn myself up a little bit. Actually, I am pretty loud. I'll turn myself up a little bit more, though. Greetings, Fat. Mr. Boom Toasted, what's up? Yeah, if I'm having, like, any sound issues, like I said, it's been a few months since I've gotten to streams, just let me know. Like, turn the game down, or, like, turn the game up, or turn music down, or whatever, you know. Whatever. Just saying, TWOW is the best time I've heard in forever. Or I've had in forever. I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard it's pretty good. I'm currently playing Classic WoW Hardcore because I'm seeing if it's still alive. Like, if it's still a thing. Because, like, everybody and their mom had a huge hard-on when Onlyfans was going on, or Onlyfangs, sorry. But now that Onlyfangs has kind of, like, died, like, does anybody even care about hardcore anymore?
Beware the living.
Beware the living. I don't actually need stealth yet. Let me sell this garbage gear. Switch that, because this one looks cooler. Man, Low Walker Show, shut up. Hold on. Bong shong tong. There we go. What's so good about Turtle WoW? I don't know what it is. Turtle WoW is just a WoW private server that is Classic Plus. It was just like a bunch of like dudes got together and they were like, you know what? Modern World of Warcraft sucks, but Classic WoW is awesome. So let's just make Classic WoW, but make Classic Plus. But they didn't do it like Season of Discovery. Like Blizzard kind of with SOD just sort of brought a ton of like modern World of Warcraft stuff into Classic WoW. And like it worked in some regards, especially like very early on. And in other ways it hasn't. Season of Discovery kind of does this. Thank you for that sub, by the way. Yeah, it just kind of does this. It goes up and down with people's opinion, I think, based on what I've seen. It's like one phase, everyone loves it. Next phase, everyone hates it. But what Turtle WoW did is they were just like, well, people like Classic, so let's just give them more Classic. So instead of like creating some new crazy rune system, they were just like, hey, let's add Gilneas and make it a level 35 leveling zone. Or like, hey, let's like just add high elves and goblins to the game. Or like, hey, let's just add like a new profession and like some new sets and stuff that people can level up and like get in dungeons as they level. And like, yeah, there's a bit of like new end game content, like Karazhan is a raid and stuff, but it's mostly just like new leveling zones, you know, new things to do while you're leveling, updates to old dungeons. Like it's more of an emphasis on the world and building out the world and making the world the main character rather than the end game and the content grind. So that's pretty much it. So that's why a lot of people really like it, especially like Classic WoW fans, you know, just because it's just more classic. What is Mukluck up to nowadays? So Mukluck, what is he up to nowadays? I speak to him every now and then. He's actually going to be coming here to the United States in September. He was going to be here in June, but because my daughter was just born, like we kind of figured that, well, you know, my wife is still probably going to be recovering, and it's probably not like the most prudent decision to have Mukluck fly over here And then like we then go and like abandon my wife and we go up to Washington DC and stuff. But I did have plans. I actually was gonna reach out to like my congressman to do like a White House tour and stuff, because I feel like it's kind of like the obligation, like since he's like, you know, a filthy redcoat, I feel like it's like my moral obligation as a filthy fat American to take him to Washington DC and show him like the White House and the Lincoln Memorial and just all that stuff, and like all the crazy people who live up there. I've done all that like when I was younger. Like I've been in the White House and stuff back when I was a kid, and that was cool. So I figured that'd be a cool experience for him. But anyway, so I was gonna come in June, but most likely in September. Other than that, I mean, he's let's see, what would Mukluck be comfortable with me saying? He is about to inherit, well, not inherit, that's not the right word. He's been working as a fishmonger for several years now, and he's actually about to acquire his own shop. And so he's very excited about that. Pretty much his manager's gonna retire, and his manager's just like, man, you're really cool, like you have a great work ethic, you just want to take over my entire business. And Mukluck's like, yeah, dude. So he's gonna own his own like fishmonger shop. I see these like new cheers, by the way. I don't know why like my alerts and stuff aren't working over here. Let me just quickly try to fix that, because I feel terrible if I'm like missing things, you know. I'll feel bad. Hippozilla keeps like cheering. Hippo, thank you, dude. Thank you very much. You also gave out a community sub. Thank you, Hippozilla. And NA Alpha and Nutella and Cory Rotted. Thank you guys. Hippozilla said, let me read these real fast. Just two things. He said, hey, Nixxiom, I'll vote for you to be king of the earth and your family, the golden royal family. Excellent. King Tiamat Smith, first of his name, lord of humankind. I don't think I would be a very good king personally. I don't have any royal blood in me, so I have like no like claim to you know, be a monarch. I would be like just a terribly corrupt peasant that had risen to like nobility. But I appreciate the sentiment and like the thought. You know, I'm glad that you have faith in me, but I don't have faith in me. All right. Well, thank you. He also said, I feel sus. You might be a slur. Wait. Hippozilla said, I feel sus. You might be a slur trying to infiltrate the US. Based and red-pilled, by the way. I don't know what that means. I might be a slur, but thank you. I think I appreciate that. That's really cool, dude. Yes, I don't know why these damn things aren't working. Hold on one second. Hold on. I see you people on the YouTube side of things too, doing those super chats. And I feel bad that it's not working. I'm going to fix it right now before we go forward, because I don't want to make people angry. All right. Wait, your video accidentally repeated about Mukluck becoming a fishmonger just before you said something else. Oh. Well, tell it to stop. And then also, I think someone else did something. No, that was it. Okay. All right. So I have my YouTube stream now open right there with like the chat. So I should be able to see anything that happens there. And then I also have the Twitch thing open over here. So I should be able to see any of the Twitch stuff as well. So it should be good. Anyway, just my little like box over here is not working, but that's okay. That's all right. You know. All right. It was a guild of Twitch streamers. Well, wait. Wasn't Onlyfangs the guild of someone famous moment? So Onlyfangs was this guild of like streamers and YouTubers and like just random social media people and just like whoever, just people with some like name in the greater WoW community. They all kind of got together and leveled up in classic WoW hardcore, and it was just you know, just they did like events and there were rules and there was a lot of drama, and ultimately it all just kind of collapsed and fell apart because personally I didn't follow the Onlyfangs stuff. Fantasy and Ash joined that guild. I didn't really follow Onlyfangs. I wasn't really that interested. I'm not like a big, like, despite being a content creator, a WoW content creator, I don't really watch a lot of WoW content creators. Like some I do, yeah. Like I'll watch a Bellular video every now and then. Bellular is awesome. I loved meeting him. I'd love to hang out with him again at some point. Like I'll watch like Krendor's stuff, but I don't really watch too many people's things. Mostly because I kind of like, mostly because I'm kind of just following, like, you know, I'm reading the same articles and things and like whatever that everybody else is reading. So I don't really need to, I don't really need to hear like, I don't know, like some WoW dude's opinion on a thing when I'm about to put my opinion out there. Like, whatever, I'm making a whole video about it. But also I kind of just want to have my own style, I suppose. What's my opinion on pirate software? I am not familiar with the pirate software situation. What's happening now? What do I think of housing for retail? I think it looks great. Honestly, I think it looks fantastic. I think Blizzard is doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Hold on. What the hell did pirate software do now? I don't see anything. I saw like some stuff, or I see stuff from like back at the beginning of this year, but like, did something new happen? The DDoSing. Yeah, see, I remember like the DDoSing stuff and like people losing their characters, but again, I didn't really follow it like too closely. I don't really follow a lot of like online drama like as well. So if people ask me like, you know, what do you think about like the pirate software thing? I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Like I'm not on the internet to get angry, okay? The only time I learn about something is when like an algorithm just rudely shoves something into my face. Like that one chick, I don't know her name. I don't even care to know her name. It's just like one day I went on Twitter or X or whatever, and suddenly my feed was just covered with this bitch that's just like, this bitch had sex with 1,000 men in one day. And I'm like, wow, I don't care. That's great. And like the next one is like, this bitch, her anus prolapsed from having sex with thousands. I'm like, I don't care. So yeah, so that's how I learn things, when the algorithm just kind of shoves something in my face. But I don't really go looking for stuff like that. Have I heard about Grays for Days who play? Oh yes, I've heard about Grays for Days. Oh yes. What is my opinion? I think it's really cool. I haven't watched too much of his stuff, but that's kind of like one of those like exceptions where I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like let me watch this for a little bit. I was gonna say something else. Hold on. Thank you, Zitzo, by the way. Have a great day. First time watching a live stream. Dude, thank you, man. This is my first time back in a while, so thank you very much, man. Just had a kid. So we were preparing for kid, and then we had kid, and now we've kind of settled in with kid, and now I can kind of settle down and stream a little bit again. My goal is to stream every day this week, Monday through Friday, and we'll see where we go from there. That's right. There's something else I was gonna say. Not looking for drama. I don't got time for that. Dude, I'm angry enough. All right. Oh, well, this isn't what I was gonna tell you guys, or what I was gonna say, but I have something else to announce to you all. So one of my like great boasts, I suppose, is as people like to tell me, I'm one of the few WoW content creators that doesn't have a receding hairline. And people really like my hair. I have very, very long hair. However, I do have to show you something. He's bald again. What would ever give you that idea? Yeah, I know that you all liked the pictures of my giant lion's mane on Twitter and stuff, but yeah, I might have shaved my head completely bald again, much to my wife's displeasure. She is not a fan in the slightest, but you know what? You know what they say. That's right. Dude, I'm like ultra bald. I told my wife, like, I was like, look, because she hates bald people. Like, she discriminates against bald people, all right? And I told her, I was like, look, my hair was down to my belly button, dudes. Like, it was disgusting. It was greasy, it was nasty, but man, did I look hot. But anyway, I told her, though, that I really wanted to shave my head bald, and she told me no, that she would not allow me to do it. Not that was going to stop me. But I told her, look, I'm going to shave my head,
Nixxiom.
and then I'm going to regrow the hairstyle that I had when I first met her, which is like just a fade, which she really liked. She still has a picture of me from those days as her phone background. So I'll grow that hairstyle, that classic Nixxiom fade before like the Ragnar look. I'll grow that back eventually, but right now I'm going to bald it up. And I'm thinking about maybe getting the side of my head tattooed. Maybe. I'm also going to Sweden in June of next year to get tattooed by a shaman. But anyway, like, we'll talk about that another time. Is Krendor losing his hair? Krendor has a lot of hair. But then again, I haven't seen him in a long time. But then again, Krendor never cuts his hair. Krendor likes... I like long hair, but it gets a little tedious after a bit. Also, Emerald Crusade, I did see the super chat. Thank you, man. He said, for the record, or heads up, Hippozilla said that he meant to type spy, not slur. It was autocorrect. Yeah, I saw it. I just hadn't addressed it. Thank you for all the super chats, man. It is much appreciated. Bald is the way to go. Bald is great, man. When I was in high school, I was in ROTC, or JROTC, and, you know, I had hair back in high school. Like, I had a nice little bowl cut because I didn't know how to, like, cut hair or anything, and neither did my parents. And I remember, like, Master Sergeant Day, like, always yelling at us that we all had to shave our heads practically bald, and I didn't want to do it. And for months, I didn't do it, and I was failing the class. And then my mom and dad yelled at me because I wouldn't shave my head, because, yeah, you actually could, like, fail the class and get an F for not shaving your head. So I finally did it, and ever since then, I've just loved being bald. I think it's great, especially in the summertime. I live in North Carolina, dude. This is like the state of swamp ass, all right? Everywhere you go, you do a little sniff and you smell swamp ass everywhere here in the spring and the summer. It is hot, it is humid, it is disgusting, revolting. I love every second of it. But anyway, if you're, dude, and being bald during this time of the year, it's great. It's nice and cool and refreshing. I go swimming in Lake Norman every now and then, which is awesome. And then you got like all the, it's great. I love it. Upgrade my bracers.
Victory for
I'm not really playing too like crazy serious for the record, but we'll see how I'm feeling about this rogue going forward. I'm really just kind of using classic WoW hardcore not only as an opportunity to check it out because I haven't played in a while. I want to see what the population looks like, but I'm also kind of just using it as a just chatting thing. I've just been gone for so long. I figured, you know, it might be a good idea just to kind of, you know, chat it up with you guys for a few hours. You know what I mean? Hippozilla, thank you for all these cheers, man. Since you're from North Carolina, do you watch NASCAR since you're a proud Southern and country boy? I listen to Dixie's Land every single day, dude. Every single day. All right? I know them all. Like, dude, my patron saint was... Damn, Stonewall Jackson. That's right. But no, I do not watch NASCAR. However, I will say that yesterday I did watch NASCAR for about 15 minutes because NASCAR, the Coke 600, right, was happening in Charlotte, North Carolina, right down the street from my house. There's the big NASCAR stadium, right? So we drove through there yesterday, me and my wife and the child, and there was so much traffic and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, the Coke 600 is here in Charlotte. And it was really cool. So when I got home, I turned on Amazon because they were streaming it or for some reason. They had some deal going on. And I watched the Coke 600 for like 15 minutes. And that was great. Yeah. I sat here forever anticipating that Nixxiom would stream again. It's been 10,000 years. It's not been 10,000 years. It's probably been at most 10,000 hours. Probably not even that. It's probably been like it's been like 2 months. It probably hasn't even been 2 months. It's probably been like a month and a half. I don't want to hear it. What the fuck, Nixxiom? What? Greetings, Nixxiom. Good to see you. I heard about your first child just today. Huge congratulations to you and your wife. I'm happy for you too. Thank you very much, man. Emerald Crusade. Well, another super chat. He says, fun fact, I have a distant relative that coined Stonewall Jackson to the actual man. Really? He stands there like a stone wall. Dude, that's pretty cool. I drove past Stonewall Jackson's grave at one point, but I didn't visit it, but I wanted to just for curiosity's sake. I think it was like 2 years ago. I was going through Virginia, or well, I actually went up to Washington, D.C., and then I went home through the Shenandoah Valley, which was the greatest drive I have ever done in my life. If you have never driven through the Shenandoah Valley of the United States, shut up and do it. Just go from Washington, D.C., go west, go over the mountains, go through that valley, the breadbasket of the South it was called, and then you just like end up like all the way back in North Carolina. It was so cool. Highly recommend it. But yeah, I drove past Stonewall Jackson's gravesite, but I didn't go there. Instead, I went to like some big ass cave. It was just a cave like in the middle of a field, and I walked around the gift shop, and then I wanted to go in the cave, but apparently the tour was like 3 hours long, and I was alone, and I kind of wanted to go home, so I didn't do that. But yeah, dude. Is Classic WoW Hardcore still alive? I've seen a couple of people. Let's do a /who. Okay, so it's 36 people in Tirisfal Glades right now. That's pretty good. Let's do a /who 60. Oh, wait. Yeah, hold on. Who 60. 50 people. So, yeah, I mean, there's people playing it, clearly. Is it true that Balderton died? No, Balderton didn't die. He went like kind of crazy. And like, when I say like he went crazy, like he kind of went like a little crazy. I think I told you guys some of what happened in my last few streams when I was still kind of around. But to keep a very long story short, Balderton disappeared for like a year and wouldn't talk to like me or my wife or anyone. Then he kind of just hit me up one day, or he hit my wife up one day. Oh, dude, what's this? Rune cloth bags and a dagger. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Wow. Dude, Teruli. /bow. Thank you, sir. Did you put fiery weapon on? You put fiery weapon on this dagger? That's cool. Use the dagger. Oh, no, I'm going to use the dagger. Don't worry. Oh, no, do not worry. Yeah, hold on. Let me finish my story. I'm getting distracted. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so he kind of hit us back up again. And he was like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was like, yeah. So he comes over to my house, and he was talking to my wife for a little bit, and then I stepped out because I was like working that day, so I was like in my room like editing or something, whatever. But no, I'm not. Bagcock, no. So I step out there and I start talking to Balderton, and then my wife goes to bed, and then he just started going on this really big communist rant. Like I don't know what had happened in that year, but he was just like, yeah, dude, I've been reading a lot of Marx lately, bro. I've been reading a lot of Mao lately, bro. And I was like, And then he started going on this big rant about like rounding people up. Like anyone that makes over like, it's very subjective, but he was like, man, they need like 60,000 to 100,000 bucks a year. He was like, we need to round these people up and we need to shoot them. And he was just going on and on about like all like the ways that like he would just round up like business leaders and CEOs and politicians, and how he would like torture them and kill them and stuff. And I was like, okay. So So I talked to him till about 4 o'clock in the morning, or however, I don't even remember how. Well, we talked for a long time, and he just kept going on this big rant, and I was just like, well, you know, what makes you feel that way, and whatever. So I've met a lot of people, and I have many friends on many spectrums when it comes to beliefs. I have crazy traditional Catholic friends. I have crazy pagan friends. I have crazy Republican friends, Democrat friends. But this was just like a crazy, crazy friend. And I haven't seen him since. Although I did talk to him, like we didn't talk at all after that, but he did message me the other day after my daughter was born. And he was like, hey man, I just wanted to like say congratulations and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And then he was talking about wanting to come over, but honestly, I don't know. Probably not, because the thing is, like, I don't know, it's kind of scary a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna go kill the matriarch spider now. Can't play WoW and watch WoW at the same time. I understand, man. Thanks for stopping by, dude. He has not found his place. Balderton is one of those, like, he's a chameleon. He's a chameleon personality type, which a lot of people are, to be fair. But it's just like whoever he hangs out with, that is who he's going to be. Like, there was a time when, like, Balderton, like, oh man, he was just totally involved in, like being like this really hardcore, like, traditionalist Catholic dude. This was just before the crazy commie phase. Super, like, you know, hardcore traditional Catholic, learning his Latin prayers, you know, studying Thomas Aquinas and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Nonstop. And I was like, all right, you know, talking with him about stuff. I know some things, you know, so debating him on some stuff, having good talks, and then he got involved with someone or some group of people, and now he's a crazy commie, and I guarantee you the next time I see him, he's going to be something else. But we'll see. We will see. Greetings from Sweden. Massive congratulations. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to be in see, I get this confused because there's like, what is it? There's Gothenburg, but then there's like Gothenburg or whatever, but I think that's the name of the region or whatever. Point is, next June, I'm going to be in Western Sweden for probably like 2 weeks. And that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Spending some time out in the woods, living like an animal, sleeping under the stars. I can't wait. It's better to distance yourself from such people, Nixxiom. It is. I definitely agree. I agree. Hippozilla, by the way, luckily no animal rights friends. Also, I'm surprised you didn't report him. I'm not gonna report him. He's just a little crazy. He's just kind of going through, like, you know, time. You know, you didn't have your crazy phase growing up. You know, you didn't have like one of them crazy phases where you were just like, maybe Stalin was right. Maybe Hitler had a point. You know, maybe like whatever. He's just going through a crazy phase. He'll calm down. Give him like 2 or 3 years. Happens to everybody. I'm originally from Landskrona. I don't even know where that is, but nice. Nice. Spectral Citizen, thank you for your 22 months, man. Thank you very much. Dude, I very much appreciate, like, the subs and the resubs, and especially Mr. Emerald Crusade with, like, all the super chats. Thank you, my friend. And the dude who came out and gave me the bags and this fiery weapon. You are awesome, man. You are awesome. Let's see. I feel like my chat is broken, actually. Oh, never mind. I'm good. Okay. No problem. There we go. Taruli. Yeah. Watch out, bro. This stuff is really clippable. Dude, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'll just be like, watch it in context. Like, it's not a big deal. Your character kind of looks like my main in Turtle WoW, Nixxiom. That means that he looks cool. Yeah. Dude, Scarol Moonwrath, you've been playing Turtle WoW? You've been playing on that illegal private server? Right? Am I gonna have to report you to Blizzard? Dude, oh, another thing. While I wasn't streaming, I got to work with Blizzard. Me. like Blizzard reached out to me and they were like, dude, Nixxiom, you want to make a video for us for Undermined? I was like, yeah. And I won't say too much because I feel like Blizzard will hate me, but I'll just say this. I got in a call with these Blizzard devs. This was so bizarre for me. Like, you have to understand. Like, let me establish context. I've always been under the impression that Blizzard fucking hates me. Like, they despise me. And that's fine. Like, I don't care. I'm just making content in my underwear, and I'm having a good time doing it. Anyway, so, like, I get in this call with all these Blizzard devs, and they gave... Again, I don't want to say too much, but they gave me this idea for a video they wanted to do, and I was like, wow, that's stupid. Let's do this instead. So I completely threw their idea out the window and proposed a different idea, and they were like, wow, that's great. Like, let's do that instead. So I got to do that. I got to do my video. It's that Undermined video on the main WoW YouTube channel. You guys should totally go watch it. Hell yeah. And leave a comment saying, wow, this video is great. And then, like, apparently, dude, and Blizzard, they loved the video so much. They reached out to me again and asked me to do another video for them. Another one. Did you guys watch that, like, 5 things you missed in Undermined video? Well, I didn't edit that video, but I wrote that video. I wrote that because Blizzard was like, you're really funny, Nixxiom. Can you write a script for us? I was like, yeah, I'll write a script for you. And I wrote that. That was cool. They didn't give me any credit in the description, though. But that's okay. It wasn't a part of the contract, I guess. Still. But that was cool. That was something that happened. I finally got to work with Blizzard on something. You know, I'm very proud of that. Maybe we'll do something again in the future. We'll see. The people at Blizzard love you, but the company Blizzard hates you. See, I don't know. That's cool, Nixxiom. It wasn't really like a goal of mine to work with Blizzard. It's never been a goal. Because I'm just playing video games. And I'm just making videos about video games. And if Blizzard likes it, great. And if they don't, whatever. But it still was pretty cool. It also was very cool that Blizzard has stolen yet another one of my ideas from one of my videos. And they're implementing it into World of Warcraft. So, you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Well, in the next World of Warcraft patch for War Within, Blizzard... they are introducing a new system called lore walking to the game. Ooh, what is lore walking, you might be wondering? Well, lore walking is... Oh, a treasure chest. Lore walking is pretty much where you go and hang out with Lore Walker Cho, and he, like, gives you, like, 24 quests or some shit, and he kind of teaches you about, like, the different lore from different expansions and events in Warcraft's history and shit, right? And, like, this is, like, a new way to level up. Like, a new character. Which I think is awesome. Now, I put that idea forward, and I talked about that idea in, like, 5 videos over the past, like, 3 years. So I'm going to say that Blizzard stole my idea. And I'm not complaining. I'm totally fine with that because I think it's an awesome idea. Blizzard did alter it a little bit, though. I said that they should use Chromie for it, but they're using Lore Walker Cho. So I'm excited to check this thing out. I'm excited to, like, make a video about it once it's actually released. It might already be out. I don't even know. I'm not playing War Within right now. Dude, I haven't been playing WoW recently. I haven't even been playing
Congrats on the baby.
Like, because, dude, I leveled up in Season of Discovery. I went from, like, 1 to 60 in no time at all. Made a whole video about it and stuff. And then I was doing a bit of endgame, and I was like, man, I am burnt out. Do I have his remains? Oh, I do. Okay. I didn't notice that I picked it up. But I did endgame for a bit, and then I was just like, man, I am burned out. Like, I was leveling on Classic Anniversary, and then there was War Within, and I leveled up on Season of Discovery, and I was like, dude, oh my, you know, and maybe there's also the fact I've been playing World of Warcraft for 20 years. The point is, I was like, dude, I've got to do something else. You know, and I was also like, so I did something. I did something kind of radical. I went outside. That's right. I went outside, everybody. And I just have been spending, like, if I'm not working on the house, and if I wasn't preparing for baby, and if I wasn't, like, working on some videos and stuff about this or that, I was outside. And you know what's one of the things I started doing? Fishing. That's right. Started fishing. And fishing a lot. Okay? Because it might seem like your boy's rolling in it, but I ain't. So going out and catching some fish to like save a bit of money each week, just, you know, having a fish dinner or whatever, save some money for me and the wife. That's great. Yeah. Fishing's been fun, man. We moved to this new area, so there's like all these like I didn't bury him. There's like all these new like fishing spots to discover, and like talking to the locals and whatnot, and it's great. Did you get a really big badass fish yet? I wouldn't say that I've gotten a really big badass fish, but I've gotten some badass fish, but nothing too big, nothing too impressive. Varrock Sarfang asked me, by the way, I did not miss it. He said, wait, what would be your class if you woke up in WoW?
I'm listening.
What would be my class? I'd probably be a warrior. I'd be a really out of shape warrior with terrible cardio, but I would be a warrior. And if it wasn't a warrior, because that's kind of the safe option, then I'd probably say I would probably be I think being a mage would be kind of fun. Or I could be like a monk, dude. Like I could just like sit and like tell you guys like deep wisdom and stuff. You know? A Kultiran warrior. That's pretty close to what I am. If I eat a fish from a local hike, I will get cancer and I will die very horribly. I'm pretty sure eating a fish isn't going to give you cancer, like to that immediate degree. Now, if you're eating some raw-ass fish out of the ocean, you might get some mercury poisoning. But there was that one like Chinese emperor back in the day, right? I don't remember his name, but the dude with the terracotta army. And that dude was like, man, I want to live forever. How can I do it? And his doctors were like, dude, all you got to do is eat mercury, dude. Just eat balls of mercury every single day. And also have lots of sex. And so he was like, got it. So every day, that dude ate a ball of pure mercury. And he did it for years. And he didn't die until he died. The point is, I think mercury poisoning is a lie. All right? Mercury is clearly not bad for you. Okay, what server am I playing on? The Doom one, Doom something. The one that the Onlyfangs people are on. Yeah. If you lost a bet to someone about WoW, would you re-roll your main in retail to be a Pandaren monk? I wouldn't mind playing a Pandaren monk. Honestly, when I was gonna do this hardcore thing, I was thinking about playing as a gnome warrior, or maybe a gnome rogue. But I decided to play, like, I figured if everybody like Onlyfangs is Horde. So I figured like everyone and their mom is going to be on the Horde side and the Alliance is going to be dead. So I decided I probably should play Horde. So that's why I'm here. I wouldn't mind playing a Pandaren monk. Honestly, if I do play the Mop Classic, I might play as a Pandaren monk. I'm not really that interested in Mists of Pandaria Classic though, because I kind of got my Mists of Pandaria feel with the remix. So I don't really, and I think like a lot of people have that opinion, which is kind of why I'm glad that Blizzard is skipping Warlords of Draenor with the next remix and they're doing Legion. Otherwise, like everyone's gonna get their Warlords of Draenor fill and like, oh, I've already built my garrison and whatever, and no one's gonna be interested because I've seen so many comments popping up just saying like, yeah, I don't really want to play Mop Classic. I already played Remix, so I'm here. When are you gonna make a Minecraft server, Nixxiom? I'm not gonna make a Minecraft server. I've done Minecraft servers in the past, and they were a lot of fun. But the thing is, the problem with making a Minecraft server is, although it is really cool and it is fun, the server, like, I always felt bad whenever we made one, because like, if I wasn't streaming the damn server, no one would play on it. But if I was streaming it, everyone would be on it. You know, tons of people running around, crashing the server, lag, you know, whatever. Everyone's having a great time. And then what would happen is I wouldn't be streaming because I can't maintain a stream schedule to save my life, as we all know. And like, people would be messaging me saying like, dude, you got to stream the Minecraft server. Like, I want to play. I want to, like, you know, do events and whatever, yada, yada, yada. But like, either I just didn't feel like it, or like I was burnt out a bit, or like I just wanted to play something else. Like, oh, I don't feel like playing Minecraft right now. Like, I want to play WoW, or I want to play Knights of the Old Republic or something. I don't know. And so I'd always like feel bad. Like, I felt like I had this like moral obligation to like play the Minecraft server. And I would tell people like, oh, play there, even if like I'm not on, and nobody would. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe one day, maybe I could work on a Minecraft server in the background and I'll tell you guys about it, but most likely no. I will say though that curiously, some of the best streams I ever did in my entire career streaming was when I played Minecraft. There was this one day in particular that I started the stream and I was playing WoW, doing whatever. I don't remember how many people were watching, but like, it was just on Twitch. There was probably like 200 people watching or something, whatever. And I'm just playing WoW, just, you know, living my best life. And then I got bored and I was like, you know what? As a joke, I'm going to play Minecraft. So, and I was like, I'm going to show these guys how I play Minecraft. I'm going to like reveal it. So I turned off WoW and I turned off Minecraft. And if anybody was there for this, like, man, you are an old school viewer, but I hopped onto my Minecraft server and I was showing everyone like this base that I had built, and I was explaining like all the deep lore. Like when I play Minecraft, like I build like a civilization. Like I write all these books and stuff, and like I come up with like all this deep backstory behind like every like cave and cliff and shrine and monument and building and like whatever. And I'm just going like full on like like just explaining, oh, let me explain to you the deep lore of this tower, and talking about all these gods and deities and demigods and heroes and myths of old. Anyway, so I do this stream playing Minecraft for a bit. The stream concludes. I hop into a call with a few friends of mine at the time, and they were like, dude, that was the greatest fucking stream you've ever done. I'm like, you know, like it was kind of fun, but I'm sure like nobody was watching that stream. Like I've probably lost all my viewers. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, you went from like 200 viewers to like over 1,000 just playing Minecraft. And that blew my mind. But anyway, maybe my crazy Minecraftness is very appealing, but we'll see. Maybe I'll play Minecraft one day. You'd be a killer DM. I am a DM. See, that's the thing. Like, dude, like, that's the other thing I've kind of been doing in my free time. If I'm doing like gaming stuff, like if I'm not just like playing a little bit of WoW or whatever, check this out. Like, you see all that back there? That's just like, that's my paint station, yo. Like, you can see my air thing right there. Isn't that cool? My D&D books, my War of the Rohirrim things. I spoke to this like little like shop recently down the street from my house. It's like a hobby shop. They sell like model trains and crap. And I convinced them to sell Warhammer stuff. That was cool. So now I can like go there to get all my Warhammer things, and that's been awesome. But yeah, I'm a DM. I've been working on this one video for a while behind the scenes called like how I DM for over 6 players, like how I like D&D prep and stuff. But I just have never finished it. But I've been working on that video for months. It's such a long project. But DMing is a lot of fun, but I think my DMing will be on pause for a little bit just because of the child being born. So my wife has to recover first and foremost, and then honestly, we have to get to a point where she's like sleeping at night, because right now she's, yeah, the child is like, she's awake for 30 minutes, then she's asleep for an hour. Then she wakes up for 2 hours. Then she's asleep for 10 minutes, and it's just up and down, up and down. And she's also like, I forget what it's called, cluster feeding. So it's like this kid wants to like suck some titty like every 10 minutes. So, yeah. DM stands for handsome guy. Yeah, you're gonna be a dad? I already am. I could show you guys the baby if you want. I can bring her in here. Just to prove that, like, the child is real and it's not, you know, fake news propaganda that I'm pushing on all y'all. Let me actually train my new abilities. I don't really need them. It makes this fiery dagger, but still.
Hello.
1 second. Give me it.
Dark lady, watch over you.
1 second. Gouge. Backstab. Actually, I'll put backstab as 1. Stealth. Actually, let's put stealth right there. Pickpocket, I'll put you right there. Is it a very ugly baby? No, apparently my baby is like really, really, really pretty. Like everyone's like, whoa, dude, your baby is like so pretty. It's not ugly and stinky. So that's kind of cool. Backstab, put you right there. Hold on. Wife! Wife! Oh, I think she's asleep. Should I go rudely wake her up? Oh, wait, hold on. She's opening the door. Hey, were you asleep? Were you? Oh, did I wake you up? Oh, I just wanted to show the baby. They don't believe that I actually had a baby. Come, child. This is baby. This is Annie. I sing to her at night. My wife can attest. I'm sorry that I woke you up. Look how fat she is, dude. She takes after me. She's fat. Look at her. She's just camera shy, you know? What class is your baby? She's probably going to be a mage, I would think. I hopefully you guys didn't just hear that.
Right next to the microphone.
It actually was right next to the microphone. Dude, this kid can rip ass. Like, damn. Like, that's something else she takes after me. But, like, this kid can rip ass and shit. She looks like you. I heard that loud and clear. Oh, well.
Please make a Nixxiom short out of that.
Make a Nixxiom short out of that. Yeah.
I don't know if those still exist.
But yes, she's a very pretty baby. I sing to her Lord of the Rings songs. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go back to bed? Ugh. You want to go back to bed? She was eating? Yeah. Yeah, your shirt's like really stained. Yeah. You probably don't show yourself on cam. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to give her back to you, okay? All right, here you go. There we go. All right. Your beard looks scruffy. I just got out of the shower. It's because I shaved my head a little bit more before I streamed. So I just did the whole... So I took a shower real fast. So I don't have my beard oil in. And just for those that don't know, that maybe they just arrived or something. Again, I know everybody really likes my really long hair, but it's all gone now. I have shaved it off and gone back to bald Nixxiom. Yeah. If someone told you in 2005 that you were going to be here, would you believe them? Like here, like where I live, like in this house, maybe. But if you mean like here, yeah, I could, yeah. Wait, 2005. How old was I in 2005? Here I am thinking I'm like 20 in that. So I would have been like 12 or 13. So I'm 32 now. So 13 years old. I mean, when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a paleontologist. That was my thing. Mostly because growing up, my parents forced me to watch a lot of Jurassic Park. And I loved dinosaurs, okay? Like, none of you guys loved dinosaurs more than me. Dude, when I was like 5, I could spell Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, get out of my face.
Beware.
I was cool. So I really wanted to be a paleontologist. Then I learned that dinosaurs aren't real. They're actually a trick of the devil. And then I was sad. So then I decided I wanted to be a history teacher. Probably when I was like 16 or like 18 years old. And I spent some time traveling around, like just Europe and stuff, learning things. And then I went back to college, and then I decided to like be a YouTuber because why not, just for fun. And then suddenly I was making a living as like a content creator, and I was like, well, this is cool, I'm gonna do this for a little bit. And I'm still here today. Maybe one day I'll get bored of it. My friend Sean has like this big construction company, and he's told me many times that like if I ever wanted to, like I could just go work for him, and certainly would make a lot more money working for him than just doing YouTube stuff. But you know, it's not always about that. You know, I have fun making my videos and hanging out with the community. I loved science in school. See, I hated science. See, when I thought about science back in school, I thought we were going to be like dissecting frogs and like raccoons and stuff, but we didn't do that. All we did is we like mixed like water with different colored food dyes in it. And like the teacher would lie to us and say that it was like chemicals, like really dangerous chemicals, that if you mix the wrong ones together, it would like explode or catch on fire. And it was all lies. So science was really boring. And like everything we learned in science was boring. Like learning how cells work and stuff. Like, I don't care about mitochondria, okay? I said it. I had 2 gigantic boxes full of dinosaur toys when I was a kid. Dude, I had the Jurassic Park T-Rex glove. Because my parents loved me. And you know what I did? I took a pair of scissors and I cut out the back of its mouth so there was a hole back there. That way I could eat my like action figures with that toy, and it was awesome. Whoa, mitochondria slander is wild. It is the powerhouse of the cell, my guy. Dude, mitochondria, more like
This had better be good.
suck my balls.
Trust no
I
one.
said it. Varrock Sarfang, he says, I had a similar story like yours. I used to really like country music a lot as a kiddo until I discovered a terrible secret, that the devil made that the devil made country music to hold America back. My pastor told me that. It's true, dude.
What
It's true.
is it?
Like, dude, you like country music is so sinful.
Embrace the
You know, like honky tonk badonka donk. Like, do you know what he's referring to there? He's not referring to that woman's like feminine virtues. Okay? He's referring to something else. Something that'll put sin in your heart.
What
That's
is
right.
it?
You should never listen to
Dog
country
lady,
music.
Watch over you.
Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Varrock. Oh, I guess I'll get some
Trust
mushrooms.
No one.
Yeah, if I did go back to college, I think I'll like finish my degree to be a history teacher, because that would be pretty fun. There's a part of me as well that kind of wants to like learn how to like code and stuff, but like, dude, I've spent half of my life in front of a computer screen, and like I cannot be bothered to spend the next half of it in front of a computer screen. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do something on my feet, even if it's just like standing in front of like a whiteboard, you know? Also, I'm like really good like with like young people, I suppose. Like I've always been like I was a babysitter growing up, like for my parents' friends, and I've always enjoyed like babies and stuff. So like I've always been like, oh yeah, like I want to have like 15 children. Like that'd be no problem. And so far, you know, everyone and their mom told me like, oh dude, once you have that first kid, like, you're gonna be like, oh, you're not gonna want another one, you know, that first kid. But honestly, it's been great. I'm like, yeah, let's get started on number 2. Let's do it. So once like wife is like all recovered and stuff. So anyway, I had 3 in 2.5 years, dude, or 3.5, dude. Nice. The taste or the texture? What? The taste or the texture of what? Mitochondria? Will I play D&D with my daughter? Dude, so I intend to raise my child on The Hobbit, Chronicles of Narnia, Norse mythology, Swedish folk stories, a lot of fantasy, dragons, princesses, and shit like that. So yeah, dude, hell yeah, she can play D&D with us. That'd be awesome. But she's obviously got to get a little bit older. Yeah, I mean, like, one of the first things that I did, it's a very old tradition that people don't really do anymore, but like, I really wanted to do it. What about Jesus, Nixxiom? I mean, yeah, I guess. Anyway, so like, she'll learn about that guy, I guess. But one of the first things I did is, like, after, like, so without going into like the whole story, so my wife was in labor for 31 hours before they pretty much had to give her an emergency C-section. It was very scary. I don't want to say too much, but they had to give her an emergency C-section. And so child came out, you know, he is. And then I got taken out of the room with child while they kind of like stitched up my wife, which was very difficult to do because it's like your wife is like literally dying on a table and they're like, oh, get out. And you're like, anyway, so I took child and I went back in the room and I just kind of spent the next like half hour while they were like kind of cleaning up, just like singing to my kid. And now because of that, because I sang to her like Roads Go Ever On so many times, like that's kind of like her like sleep song now. So like if I really want her to shut up and just go to bed, like I just sing to her Roads Go Ever On. It's from Lord of the Rings, if you've ever read the books. And so yeah, I really want to raise my kid a lot with music. I mean, my house is full of instruments and teach her to sing and stuff, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, your kid needs a White Claw Light. I think my wife needs a White Claw Light. we did buy some Bold Rocks the other day, so she's been enjoying that. My wife told me that after she was done being Cornelius, she wanted to hit a graham cracker vape, because for some reason that was a big pregnancy craving of hers. She wanted sushi. She wanted a margarita. What else did she want? I think she talked about some whiskey at one point, and something else. Thank you for all those follows, by the way. Start her on Phil Collins. Put your faith in what you most believe in. We'll see. We'll see. I will say there is some things that like I will never let my kid see. Like, I will never let my kid watch Coco Melon. Like, dude, I babysat this one girl for a bit. Like, it was my mom's friend's daughter. It was like a few years ago. And like, I would go over there. Her name's TT. And I'd be like, oh, so like, what do you and Helena usually do? And she's like, oh, I just put on Coco Melon. And she just like sits there and watches Coco Melon. So just do that. So I'm like, oh, like, does she have like any toys so that she doesn't grow up to be like a fucking idiot? Like, and she's like, no, I don't have anything like that. So anyway, so the point is, for like a few weeks, I just had to nonstop watch Coco Melon with this child because there was nothing else for her to do. And she was just glued to it. It was wild. And then if I tried to do anything else, her mom would get angry at me. What about Johnny Bravo? Dude, Johnny Bravo is cool. He's awesome. Dude, Emerald Crusade. Wait, in Doctrina, I mean, teach your daughter to like WoW and the Elder Scrolls music. She could become a musician later in life. She'll love Azure style and the soundtrack OAST for her entire life. So yeah, for those that don't know, I mean, like, my house is full of instruments. I mean, if you guys have watched my streams for like, you know, the past several years, like, you probably have seen me play a lot of instruments on stream. You probably have heard me sing a lot on stream too. And it's something that both me and her mom really want to raise her in, is just a lot of music. Like, you know, my wife, she can play the piano and the ukulele for some reason. She plays the guitar. I play a lot of wind instruments. You know, I have my tin whistles, of course. I have some Native American drone flutes. Then I have like some string instruments like the toggle harpa. I'd like to learn how to play the guitar proper one day, but we'll see. But definitely raising her in like a very musical household would be cool. So, you know, that's sort of like old tradition of kind of singing to your child as she's brought into the world. Like, I really, that was something that I did with Anastasia. Just like when my grandmother died, like, I was the only one in the room, and I just sang to her as she just passed away. Just because that's just something I just very much believe in, that you should sing people into the world and sing them out. And that's kind of like a that's a little bit of a subject. So, but yes, the Azure style, awesome soundtrack. Skyrim, hell yeah. So yes, I will be that cruel tyrant father that makes my child learn the piano. Do not worry. Do not worry. Weird, but I like it. Yeah, dude. It's what you do. Anyway, what else? I feel like I've missed a lot of things. Like, for example, Spice C, he resubbed. I missed that entirely. I apologize if you're still watching. Thank you for that resub. He said, congrats on the baby, boy or girl. It is a girl. Hippozilla also asked me, do I want to be based and red-pilled? I've like transcended like based and red-pilledness. You have to understand, like, I am beyond such things. Such filthy labels. That's right. So I'm gonna say no. Will I play Oblivion Remastered? You know, I admit, when I was sitting and I was talking to myself this morning, and I was like, what do I want to stream, since it's my first stream back in a while? My first thought was to play Oblivion Remastered. But I figured playing WoW would be better, because WoW is such a, like, mindless game most of the time. It's very good for just chatting. And I figured, since I haven't seen you guys in like a few months or whatever, I figured just kind of sitting here and chatting it up would probably be like the best thing to do. You know, talk about the kid and whatever. And then, like, you know, tomorrow, like, you know, play some Oblivion, or, you know, play Fable. Maybe I'm thinking about playing Fable, or maybe Dragon Age Origins. That would be cool. Really want to play some like old classic RPGs. I think it'd be fun. And then I even have like a cigar stream planned for this week, probably to wrap it up, like on Friday. Dude, like, I've got a cigar lounge in this house. Like, it's awesome. Now I have to like get my laptop set out there, and, you know, run a big internet wire out there. It's on the other side of the home, but I mean, I'll figure it out. And, you know, smoke a cigar and just kind of chat it up, and, you know, we'll just talk shit about Mukluck and British people. Like, it'll be great. It'll be awesome. Will your daughter re-roll for the good of the guild? My daughter doesn't even have a character yet, yo. Eventually, though. Eventually. Dude, I haven't played Dragon Age Origins in years, man. Like, I played through it, like, in no time at all back in the day when it first came out. Thought it was fantastic. I've never touched it since. And so I kind of want to, like, now that I'm kind of starting up this new YouTube channel, Nixxiom Plays, where I'm just checking out other games other than MMOs and RPGs and stuff. One series of videos that I really want to do is just checking out older titles and just seeing how they hold up in 2025. Because I think a lot of people really enjoy that type of content from me and from really anyone. Just like checking out something from so long ago and just saying, like, you know, what made this so good, and is it still good today? So I've kind of been making like a list of games that I have played back in the day, like Fable, Dragon Age Origins, but also games that I didn't really play back in the day, but I really wanted to play, like Dragon's Dogma, for example. I never really played that. So, have I ever played Planetscape Torment? I have not. Would I let my child play WoW Retail or WoW Classic? Well, I mean, like, that depends. I know what I'm about to say is going to offend some people, but hear me out. If she's still really young, you know, like if she wanted to play WoW, you know, she's 5, 6 years old, obviously I would let her play WoW Retail first. Because it's like, it's so mechanically easy. Like, but like if she was a little older and, you know, she kind of wanted like that, you know, she's played a little D&D with dad in the group and stuff, and she kind of wants that kind of like role-playing game adventure, you know, the definitely Classic WoW. Yeah. So, same engine as Baldur's Gate. Dude, one thing that I want to do that I'm thinking about, I might even do it this week, we'll see, is I have a mod, well, I have several mods installed for Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I have a Death Knight mod, and like I have a Warlock mod. And pretty much every single World of Warcraft class I have in Baldur's Gate 3. And I've never really, like, tested those out properly, except for like the Death Knight, but just a little bit. So I kind of want to play Baldur's Gate 3 as Nixxiom, the Death Knight. And I think that'd be pretty fun. Just, you know, it'd be cool. You guys get to see, like, what a horrible tyrant I can be. That'd be awesome. You're not wrong, Nixxiom. I'm not. You know, and it's not even, like, I'm not even trying to be, like, I'm not trying to be, like, insulting, like, towards, like, modern WoW. It's just, it's a much easier game to, like, pick up and understand and get into. Because it's just very straightforward. You know, it's got, like, a very, like a very well laid out, like, tutorial, like, system and stuff. And anyway, it would just be a better game to, like, give to a young kid. Can't believe you have a kid now. I've been watching you since I was 12. Nice, dude. How old are you now? 13? Or you've been watching for a very long time. Retail is such a polished, clean, efficient process. Which horrible introduction to Azeroth for someone who's new. I think that this is a whole rant, but a little while ago, maybe like 30 or 45 minutes ago, I mentioned how much I really love the fact that they're doing the whole lore walking thing in the next patch for World Within. I think that's great because that's going to be awesome for new people coming to Azeroth for the first time. Getting to learn a little bit of the story of what's going on and why this has happened and who is the Lich King and stuff like that. I think it's a great addition that Blizzard's doing to the game. Because I think, and I've said in many videos and I've said on many streams, I think that Blizzard has just given up when it comes to like the early game of WoW. And they've kind of given up in the idea of like growing the game. Blizzard is just purely on maintenance mode of just like, let's give content that appeals to people who are already here or people that have played in the past and want to play again, but never the new player. Like, I've had multiple friends try World of Warcraft over the years, give it a shot, and like even recently, like, you know, in the time that I was, you know, not streaming for a little bit, like I had a friend of mine try WoW, and he was playing War Within, and he got to, I think it was level 23 or 24, and he quit because he thought the game was boring. And it's true. I mean, like, the early game is, it's very boring. Like, I've at this point, I kind of have conceded to like the argument that like people have been putting forward for years of just like, why does the early game even exist anymore in modern WoW? Just like let people skip to the end game if that's going to be like the main focus. But that's a whole talk. So anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about, but oh yeah. So I think that Blizzard, like, taking this step to do the whole lore walking thing, maybe it's like a sign that Blizzard is maybe turning, you know, turning around a corner, and they're like, oh, hey, like, maybe we should try to make like the early game as appealing as possible in terms of gameplay, storytelling, whatever, to actually bring new players into the game and to hook them. So, isn't the game too expensive for the casual player? Too expensive? Well, the game is just as expensive for a casual player or a hardcore player. I mean, it's $15 a month. So I hope that Blizzard really does like address early game at some point. There is like, or there were all those like rumors and like dev tweets that came out before War Within dropped that was kind of alluding to the fact that they were going to do another world revamp like Cataclysm, which got everybody really hyped. And I hope that they do that at some point. They do another big world revamp. They create like a whole like new stylized leveling system. They learn a lot from classic WoW and their Season of Discovery experiments and also their remix experiments and whatnot. And you know, Blizzard just creates a game that like as soon as you... I just want to be able to tell like a friend of mine like, oh, hey, like, come try World of Warcraft, you know, like, retail, that is, and you're really going to enjoy it. But anytime, personally, everyone's experience is different, but anytime I've had, like, a friend, like my friend Sean or Zach or whatever, try WoW for the first time, they try the modern game, they get bored of it, and then they try Classic, and they enjoy it far, far more. And I want that to change. So, anyway... I don't think that WoW warrants a $15 sub fee anymore. I think that if Blizzard is... Well, I don't know. I personally hold the opinion that I wish Blizzard would get rid of the cash shop. Oh, wait, I need to kill these Scarlet Warriors. I think Blizzard should get rid of the cash shop in-game, in my opinion. And if they don't, then they should get rid of the monthly fee. And if they, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't like the idea, and I've never liked the idea of a double monetized MMO. Like, it's stupid. Like, we're already paying you monthly to play this game, and you're creating more content that we have to pay even more money for in game. Like, you know, this like stupid cosmetic content. Like, my $15 should be contributing to these things being obtainable in game through gaming means, not through the means of my credit card. And it's something I'm very much against. I think WoW is very over monetized for, you know, but you know, you've got like the coin and stuff nowadays, and so I see what you're saying. Yeah. They should have increased the sub price with inflation. They could have done that, but Blizzard's not going to get rid of the in-game store, and I understand why they're not. I mean, like, there's the... I'm sure everybody knows this, but, you know, when Blizzard first introduced the in-game store, they introduced that Sparkle Horse to the game, and if, you know, what I've heard on the internet and through YouTube videos is true, like... that stupid Sparkle Horse back in the day, like that horse earned Blizzard as a company more money than all the sales of StarCraft 2 combined. And so it's like, why would they get rid of the store? Like, it's making the company billions of dollars, but is it something that should be in the game? Probably not, but ultimately Blizzard's here for... they're here to make money. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Triple monetized if you include expansion costs. That is true. Let's see. Are you talking about the Sparkle Pony? Yeah, Sparkle Pony from back in the day. You know, it was like the flying celestial horse or whatever. That thing. Yep. Money, you know? Yeah. All right. Let's see. I don't know if I want to continue this character, I admit. Maybe. Maybe I'll play more classic hardcore on stream, but I do admit that now that I've mentioned the whole, like, Fable, like, Dragon Age Origins and stuff, I'm like, One game that I really should give another chance is Morrowind, but I don't think Morrowind would be a fun game to stream. It's too much reading. Like, I don't mind reading off stream, but if I was just constantly like, okay, let's read, like, I feel like that'd get a little frustrating. Hold on a second. Why is the game shop not in Classic like how it was in Wrath? When did Blizzard put the in-game shop in? I don't remember off the top of my head. Was it in Wrath? I feel like it was in Cataclysm that they added it. I think. Classic keyword. Finishing my thought though. If anyone's got a suggestion, by the way, for kind of like an old school role-playing game, I am interested. I thought it was was it Mists of Pandaria? I guess so. Dude, Niamoius or whatever. Dude, thank you for the sub, man. Thank you very much, sir. Let me actually turn up my alerts a little bit. I feel like they're very quiet. Are you guys gonna even play? Like going back to the Mop Classic thing, like, is there hype for Mop Classic? Is anybody like really excited for it? I've been tempted even to check out like Cataclysm Classic again to see like what the population looks like. Level 7, dude. You could download a voice add-on for Morrowind. Morrowind is one of those games where I feel like it would be better for me to just play it off stream. Like, I'd rather play something that like the chat could actually listen to, you know, like a fully voice acted game like Fable or Dragon Age or something. I'm tempted to try to play Knights of the Old Republic on stream again. I attempted that years ago, but the game, like, there wasn't like the new optimized edition or whatever of the game at the time, and so it was just like it was just constantly crashing, and stream was crashing and stuff. So, but I think they've done updates to Knights of the Old Republic since then to make it more stable if you're like running it with like OBS and stuff. So KOTOR would be a lot of fun. Republic Commando would be cool as well. Like, it's not a role-playing game, it's not an MMO, but Republic Commando was such a fun game back in the day. Cat is pretty popular right now since everyone is prepping for MOP. Okay. Oh yeah, and also, yeah, SWOTOR has done like a couple of updates. I've kind of been on a little bit of a Star Wars binge over the past few days. Even yesterday, I started watching Star Wars Episode 1. My wife has never seen Star Wars. She's never watched 1 second of a Star Wars movie. Like, she does not understand, like, what is the appeal. Like, she thinks it's so stupid. But yesterday, we were sitting on the couch, and she was doing crafts. And I was like, I think I'm going to watch Star Wars Episode 1, because, I don't know. Sometimes, like, I just remember the pod race scene. And I just remember the sound effects. And I'm just like, dude, the sound effects, bro. And, like, I just want to rewatch it. So I started watching it, but her back was turned the entire time. But occasionally she'd like turn her head and look, and like, you know, the like Newt Gunray in the beginning, like she was like, ugh, as soon as she saw him. And you married her? Well, you know, it's kind of like opposites attract. You know, like my wife is not a gamer in the slightest. She does not watch YouTube and does not give a shit about YouTube whatsoever. She is not a tech person in the slightest. My wife, she enjoys crafts. She likes to make things like little trinkets and stuff, and she likes to write. She does a lot of poetry. But mostly she just does a lot of crafts. That's her thing. The Phantom Menace is great. I said it. It actually, like, I watched like half of it yesterday before I decided to go to bed because I was really tired, because I was kind of near like, or like I had been watching the kid for most of the day, so I was tired. But I got to the point where it was like the pod race scene was just about to begin. It's when Qui-Gon is sitting on like the edge of the building with Anakin and he's testing his blood. Like, that's where I stopped. And I do admit, like, I know the Mr. Plinkett review like lives rent-free in everybody's head when it comes to like the prequels, but I hadn't watched a Star Wars prequel movie in years, man. Like, I've just been, all I've seen of recent Star Wars has been the Disney stuff, and I mean, I was really enjoying it. I was very much enjoying it, actually. Like, even Jar Jar Binks wasn't that bad, although my wife had some, she was like, who's this retard? Like, when he came on screen and started talking. So that was a little weird, but it was great. But Phantom Menace has been pretty good. It's been great. Annie, yes, that's my child. My wife is in the other room sleeping with her right now, because last night Annie kept us awake for quite a while last night. It wasn't too bad, but I mean, I got like 5 hours of sleep, and I think my wife got like 4.5. So I'm a little bit tired, I admit. And dude, I even admit, like, right now, like I started streaming, and about like 45 minutes into this, I was like, oh, I'm a little bit tired. I might cut it a little short, maybe, and maybe lay down with them, but we'll see. We'll see. You mean Darth Jar Jar Binks? Yes. I explained the deep Star Wars lore to my wife, though, with the whole, like, you know, George Lucas made episodes 4, 5, and 6 first, which really confused her. She was like, what? Why? I don't know. And then I explained the prequels and how everybody hated the prequels and thought they were so stupid. Like, they were great from a world building perspective, and they were so visually cool, like clone troopers and battle droids and stuff, like so freaking awesome. But, like, you know, story wise, you know, acting, maybe not so much. But, like, and everyone hated it, and they were just like, oh, George Lucas, you're so dumb, and your prequels are dumb, although they are kind of cool at the same time. And then I explained to her that George sold, like, Star Wars to Disney, and then Disney completely ruined everything, and now everyone has gone back to George Lucas and has apologized to him. Like, we're so sorry. So she at least understands, like, the out of Star Wars lore now. Have I heard of Warcraft Adventures, Lord of the Clans? I have, yes. That's a point-and-click adventure game, though. I don't know if I want to play a point-and-click game. Like, I could, but I'm kind of dumb. And I don't want half my stream to be, what do I click? What? What do I do? How do I combine the two items together? One game that I'm looking forward to playing on stream, though, no one's gonna watch it. No one's gonna care. Okay, are you ready? Dude, we haven't heard anything about this game since they dropped the trailer, but I am hyped. That new freaking Jurassic Park game. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that Jurassic Park survival game that takes place right after, like, the movie or something, the first movie. Dude, that game looks freaking awesome. And it's not even out yet. We don't even know much about it. But, dude, that game looks great. I cannot wait to play that. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. I need to train new skills, yo. At least I think so. We'll see. Actually, no, I don't, apparently. Okay, we're good. I didn't know there was a game. Yeah, dude. Bring back 5 minutes in. Well, you see, 5 minutes in wouldn't be a good idea. It would be better to make it 8 minutes. And why, you might be wondering? Well, because of the fact that if a YouTube video is under 8 minutes long, the YouTube algorithm doesn't really recommend it to people. And the reason why is because YouTube videos under 8 minutes, unless it's like a meme video or something, like, it's less likely to get recommended because it can't have multiple ads put into it. And now that, like, YouTube has done this whole thing where they're, like, forcing ads into videos, yeah. So, anyway, what are my thoughts on the Jurassic Park Rebirth trailers? Looks like shit. Looks like garbage. It looks like a Marvel movie. You know, just the loud sound effect. Someone makes a stupid joke. Then there's a dinosaur that roars and bites the camera or whatever. It looks dumb. You know, Jurassic Park is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. because it begs the question of when does, like, where is the line when it comes to scientific advancement? Like, when do we go too far to the point that we shouldn't have actually done this? And it's just a big philosophical exploration of that idea through characters like Ian Malcolm and stuff. Love the book. It's fantastic. Highly recommend you read it. Lost World is really good too, but the first Jurassic Park book, in my opinion, is vastly better. Anyway, the new Jurassic Park movies though, like from like episode 3 and like beyond, and yeah, I'm gonna include Jurassic Park 3 in there. Like, they're just so dumb. It's like, but then movies nowadays are just kind of dumb. It's like Hollywood doesn't believe that people can think anymore, so they don't release like any sort of thought-provoking movie. And anytime a thought-provoking movie does come out, it like blows people's minds. Like The Lighthouse. Remember when The Lighthouse came out? Everyone was like, dude, the fucking Lighthouse. If you guys have not seen Robert Edgar's The Lighthouse, you should go watch The Lighthouse. Fantastic movie. Robert Edgars is my favorite director, personally. I love his stuff. He just did Nosferatu. Anyway, because they sell to literal amoeba scrolling phones. Well, yeah, and I don't like that. so I think I think the new Jurassic Park movies, they were really boring. I didn't like them. I thought they were boring, and yeah, I'm not gonna watch the next one. I will say my wife had also never seen Jurassic Park. Okay. And the last Jurassic Park movie, I don't even remember what the fuck it was called. Like Fallen Kingdom? No. The one with the grasshoppers or whatever it was. The bugs. You know, it's like the bugs and they're flying around like causing trouble. Like, I don't even remember what happens in it, but like the bugs are flying around causing trouble. I took my wife to go see that movie. And I was like, dude, Jurassic Park is so cool. Like, maybe this movie will be cool because they've got, like, Sam Neill and, like, Ian Malcolm and stuff back. And, yeah, so she never wants to watch a Jurassic Park movie ever again after watching that. I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. Maybe one day. My wife hasn't seen anything. You have to understand. Like, she grew up in a very sheltered household. All right, she's never seen Harry Potter. She's never seen Star Wars. She's never seen Jurassic Park. Never has seen Game of Thrones. Doesn't want to watch Game of Thrones because, as she likes to kind of crucify me on, she's like, what was the thing that she said to me one day? She was like, how broken do you have to be in your virtues and in your morals that watching murder is a form of entertainment or something like that? And I was like, but it's cool. Game of Thrones is terrible. Game of Thrones was cool in the first few seasons, like when they were actually going off the books. But like in the later seasons, it was pretty bad. Yeah, a political war thriller than pew pew lasers. That sounds kind of cool. She's a good Christian lady. She is. She is. She just wants to do crafts and have children and cook food. And then she leaves me little notes everywhere. I got one right here. Every time I go somewhere, like, you know, I just have like these little notes like this. This one says, and I quote, "You are the best husband ever, and I am the luckiest wife," with a heart. Yeah. Are you not entertained? I showed her we watched the new Gladiator movie together. The one where it's like the two emperors and stuff. That movie sucked. I bought that movie on Prime when it came out, or rented it day one when it was like $15. That movie sucked. I hated every second of it. Lord of the Rings also has murder. Yeah. Do you think that you can take Asmongold in a mock Gara, like in real life? Probably. Maybe. I mean, like, I'm very, like, big and fat, but I'm also, like, very, very strong, right? But Asmongold is nimble, right? So he could, like, probably do, like, a backflip over me or some shit, and, like, stab me. Gladiator 2 freaking sucked. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, it was very bad. He'd make you give up from the sheer stench. Maybe. Thank you for those follows, by the way, over on the Twitch side of things. Thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. What about WoW Retail? I don't really play WoW Retail, like, too much recently. But then again, Asmongold doesn't even play World of Warcraft anymore. Except for when he does, but it's kind of like few and far between. So, but yeah, he could beat me in WoW Retail. Maybe. Maybe. Martin hasn't finished the books in almost a decade. George R.R. Martin is never going to finish the Game of Thrones book. Because he has no reason to. George is an author. And I guarantee you, he loves his world. And he loves his characters. But ultimately, he's an older guy. And his authorship was his career. It was how he made money. And I'm sure, you know, again, he loves his characters and his world and his books and everything. But ultimately, he was probably writing for the sake of work, for the sake of money, which is fine. And now he has made money. More money than he ever needs. Thanks to his books, television show. He's good. He's set for life. And so he probably doesn't have that incentive anymore to write. He doesn't have that, like, that inspiration deep down, that need to pay the bills and get by that, you know, fuels a person to be more ambitious with their passions and with their talents. And that's fine, I suppose. But it is very disappointing for a lot of people. I don't think he'll ever finish them. And I think there was like some update just the other day, unless it was like, I saw like an article pop up on my phone, but it was probably just a clickbait thing, so I didn't actually like read it. But it was something about how like George recently confirmed that he is not going to finish the Game of Thrones book series. I'll watch a few clips from Battlestar. I'll check it out. Yeah, I saw Wheel of Time got canceled. I never watched Wheel of Time. Some people told me to read the books back in the day, but I've never read the books either. I'm still working on my book. Actually, fun fact, before baby was born, I was talking to my wife about how I was gonna disappear probably up into the mountains for like 2 days, maybe 3 days. And I was just going to go write and just keep working on the book. And, you know, it's coming along great. Really, really enjoying it. Very happy with the story so far. Mukluck is loving it. The people I've shown the book to, they love it. And I was just going to go write for like, you know, a couple of days just up in the mountains, just alone. But then, you know, my wife got induced and then we had to like, you know, have a child. So that plan kind of got thrown out the window, but that's okay. You should do an unconquered run at Age of Conan. I played Age of Conan for about 10 minutes. I installed it. I wanted to see if the rumors were true that you could have a big wangling dong in the game. The rumors were true. And so I ran around with my big ding-a-ling, like blowing in the wind. And I was like, this is great. And then I stopped playing. And that was pretty much it. I did find, in regards to books, the other day I went to Goodwill and I found all these classic books for like $1. Like King Arthur and Treasure Island and you know, a bunch of fairy tales and stuff. Oh, that's Conan Exiles? Well, whatever. Same thing. Same thing. Anyway, the point is, I found a bunch of really cool books. They're kind of like really decayed because they were like printed back in like the 1920s. So I do need to rebind them, but it's going to be cool to like read King Arthur to Annie as she gets a little bit older. And I've already like read a little bit from it, so you know, it's very easy to read, very easy to follow, like very easy to follow and understand. Am I reading anything right now? I've been reading Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. That's been cool. I'm reading another book called Germanization of Medieval Christian Europe. That's cool. That book is just talking about how like it's a historical like essay pretty much, but it's a book that's pretty much arguing the point that when Christianity came into Europe, European pagan virtue and its values radically transformed Christianity and the church into something entirely different than what it was intended to be. And now we're kind of at a point where how do I explain this simply? We've kind of reached a point where we attribute a lot of virtues to Christianity that don't actually exist within Christianity. They just come from like the pagan past and stuff. And that's, I guess, the simplest way to put it, I guess. A great example of this is, because I'm sure someone's going to ask for an example, the worship of beauty. So it is a belief, I can't speak for Protestant denominations, but in the Catholic world, like the greater church, it is the belief that the worship of beauty is the worship of God. And that's why the church, the cathedral, the altar, the whatever, the life of the individual should be as beautiful as possible, because God is the source and the summit of all beauty. So this is what inspires people to, you know, be great painters and architects and, you know, pursue virtue and so on and so forth. Great. The only problem with this is not a Christian virtue, this like pursuit of beauty, which is something that even Protestants pointed out back in like the Reformation, like the extravagance of things, you know, the wealth and so on and so forth, the gold, the silver. Like, this is not how like the early apostles and even Christ himself lived. In reality, the worship of beauty, and beauty being the ultimate reflection of God, is a pagan virtue. Because whenever you look at, you know, the Greek temple back in the day to Athena, Zeus, or whatever, you look at just like how the Viking decorated his Hof, their poetry, their myths, whatever, like there was this emphasis that the divine is beautiful and beauty reflects the divine in this world. So it's more of a pagan virtue than a Christian one. But Christians adopted it, and then through syncretism, it has become considered a Christian virtue today, or a way of thinking. It's actually not. Anyway, so that's just one thing. You should do more historical content. I've thought about it. I've really thought about it. Over on my Nixxiom IRL channel, which like I very rarely touch, I've actually recorded like several videos where I talk about like historical subjects, mostly about like Beowulf, and like old Anglo-Saxon poetry, but I don't really know what holds me back from doing like more content like that, because it is a subject that I very much love, and maybe that's actually it, because it's like I don't ever want it to become a job, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm sure everybody here has heard of Outdoor Boys, you know, going out camping and, you know, do whatever. Like Outdoor Boys is great. Like I go out and camp all the time too, and, you know, go fishing, spend a lot of time outside, yada yada yada. And people, like, you know, I've made some videos on Nixxiom over the years, like, of me mountain biking and doing these things, and people love it. And, like, they're like, oh, like, I want more of that. I want more of that. And the reason why I don't do it is because I don't want that to ever become my job. What does the name Nixxiom mean? It just means Nixxiom. Just my name. Isn't beauty something that was worshipped all over in humanity? Maybe. I can't speak for all cultures. I mean, I know that, like, authors like G.K. Chesterton definitely were very opinionated against, like, some, I forget, like, the quote, and even the book it came from. It might have been Everlasting Man. But it was kind of like the, he talked about white magic and black magic in regards to paganism, and he talked about it was a Christian book ultimately, the Everlasting Man, you know. And if I remember correctly, it's been a few years, he talked about how like the fact that hold on, I'm gonna misquote him terribly here. Don't take what I'm about to say with a huge grain of salt. It was something like the Greeks and like the European pagans back in the day, like they already had like all of these what he considered to be white magic virtues that they honored and like revered, that made them it made it very easy for them to accept Christianity. But then there were other cultures that believed very much in, like, you know, child sacrifice, and their gods were always depicted as very ugly and stuff. And I think he like calls out like the Aztecs and stuff like that, and he referred to this as like black magic paganism, where it's like, oh, this is not the worship of beauty, this is like the worship of ugliness and like evil itself. Like, and I think Chesterton sort of makes the argument a little, not really, but he sort of makes the argument almost like, oh, these other cultures were kind of worshiping demons in a way. And I guess the European pagan was worshiping demons too. Ultimately, like Odin and Zeus and all them were demons, I guess. But they were like better. I guess. I guess. Anyway, but I maybe. But I don't know. How's Lil Ben doing? I have no idea. I haven't talked to Lil Ben in a long time. You mean like Holy Priest and Shadow Priest? Sure. Sure, why not? Why not? Maybe one day I'll make like a whole history thing, but we'll see. We'll see. I do have some like topics that I would like to make videos on, and even like write some essays on, that I study in my free time. Like I would very much like to write an argument talking about how I want to write a paper talking, I don't even know if I really want to say it. Yeah, I'll say it's fine. I think I've said it on stream before. But I really want to write a paper or like a book at some point, making a few arguments in regards to like how the Germanic understanding of Hamingia influenced the Catholic understanding of grace, and how it still persists to this day. And that's all that I'll say about that. I don't think Zeus was ever considered a demon. Well, I mean like a demon in a like, not by like, you know, the Hellenists that worshipped him. They didn't consider him a demon. I'm talking like, you know, like the Christians and stuff. What time is it? It's 4:25 where I live right now. Will I create any more machinimas, or are you done with them for the time being? I actually just made a machinima. I just made one and released it onto the YouTube channel. I called it, originally I called it World of Warcraft lore characters' favorite foods. And then I changed it, the title recently, to World of Warcraft is a game for children. And you should definitely go watch it. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. And you know what else you should do while you're checking it out? You should check out Coffee Monster. That's right. Also not Christians, I think. So this is one of the bases of the depiction of the Christian God. So, all right, little fun history thing. Like, let's see, maybe around 480. So the predominant way of thinking back during that time was most people religiously that were non-Christian around the Roman Empire believed in Neoplatonism. And Christianity is very much based on Neoplatonic thinking. Just this idea that there is the unknowable one that created everything. You know, Christians call him the Father. And in Neoplatonism, there's this idea that the one created everything, but because the one is outside of reality itself, it logically follows that the one is unknowable. Like, even the idea of referring to the one as the one is logically, like, flawed, because the one created oneness itself. It created the act of creation itself. Like, it's so far removed from our reality that any attempt to define it is logically flawed. So what did the one do? Well, according to Plato and, you know, other like pagan philosophers and stuff, they believed in the idea that the one then manifested elements of itself to different people and different cultures at different times as different deities that ultimately embodied like various like virtues and things and like whatever that like emanate from the one. It's a whole topic, but you know, like the gods are like the source of all goodness in the world, and you know, they all like stem from the one. And so there's the idea that any worship of any deity is ultimately the worship of the one. And this is why it was such a radical thing when like Jesus shows up on the scene and he says like that very famous, you know, quote where he says like, oh, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. You know, I and the Father are one. You know, I am the way and the truth. So where before it was kind of this belief that like every people had their own gods and way of kind of reaching divinity, this guy, Christ, shows up and says, I am the only way. Every other way is flawed. It's not that these other ways are completely wrong necessarily, because there is truth in, you know, in these things. But what's so radical is he says that ultimately I am the perfect way to reach like divinity. And so Neoplatonic thought was just kind of the common thing back in the day. And so it just sort of like, it's a whole subject, but a lot of like early like Christian writers and stuff just kind of took Neoplatonism and its way of like looking at the world and its theology, and they just kind of like painted like a Christian paint job over it. And they were like, oh, well, like, here you go. Like, this must be true. And that's why even like today, like any sort of argument that you can bring up that goes against like Neoplatonism, like goes against Christianity as well. Like, it starts dismantling it because so much of early Christianity is based on it. But anyway, that's a whole subject. So what's up, Nixxiom? Gaming nicer? Dude, nothing much, man. I'm leveling this character, and somehow I've gotten on like a small like history rant. I'm not religious, but I believe in Naruto. I think Naruto is cool. I would say Neoplatonism is based off of Christianity. If you believe, and if you hold the belief that like that Christianity is ultimately true, then yes, like Neoplatonism would, I guess, be based off of Christianity. But considering that, you know, Plato and like these ideas, like these Hellenistic ideas existed before Christ ever came along, that would technically be wrong. Plato just got closer to the truth. Yeah. And so like again, it's not like it's not like even like these early writings of these like early saints and stuff, it's not like these religions were all like completely wrong. Like, you know, oh, like, you know, you're a Hellenist and you're worshiping like, or you're embodying this virtue of strength and discipline and stuff to honor the god whoever. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's not wrong. It's just not sanctified. That's the idea behind it. It's kind of like a person. You know, it's what like the Christian way of life and the church and whatever. It's like it's its mission. It's to sanctify. So like, just like how you have a culture where it's like a lot of what they do is good, but some of it is bad. Like, you just do away with the bad and you sanctify what is good and you like complete it. Same with like an individual. And anyway, Nixxiom has returned from the woods. I have returned from the woods. Indeed. Indeed. So, yeah. But for me personally, I mean, like, this is a whole subject, but I kind of reject Greek thinking. The Greek dependence upon reason is actually one of my kind of primary arguments, or one of the primary things where I kind of like, where like things like Neoplatonism and like Christianity falls apart for me. But that's a whole subject. I think that there's too much hyper dependence on human reason, or too much faith in it, I suppose. But maybe I'll explain that on the cigar stream. How about that? Because that's a topic.
Goodbye.
So, is Classic fun? I think Classic's very fun. I've certainly been playing it ever since 2005, and I'm still very much enjoying it. And I am happy to see there is still like a population of people playing hardcore. Let's see. Oops.
I am forsaken.
Not necessarily Plato's own view. Yeah, Neoplatonism was not specifically the worldview of Plato. That's why it's Neoplatonism. It's like new, like, Platonic thinking, or Plato thinking. I don't even know if Platonic is the right word for it. I don't study philosophy too much. Only when it pops up and I have to kind of like study it do I actually like look into it. But no, it was sort of like a building upon like Plato's ideas. But really a lot of his beliefs, like this whole idea of like the one and stuff and whatever, like this was already like a prevalent thing in like Hellenistic religion. So yeah. Do I have a second stream, or is the cigar stream in here as well? So that's a good question. So I probably am not going to do a cigar stream here on the Nixxiom YouTube channel, because it doesn't really fit on the channel. And also I'm pretty sure YouTube would strike the channel because of the fact that it's tobacco use. YouTube's kind of weird when it comes to tobacco stuff. So when I do the cigar stream later this week on Friday, I will probably do it on Twitch and Kick alone. I'm also streaming on Twitch and Kick right now, so wherever you want to watch me, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, like, just go watch me there. But every other stream, if I'm playing an MMO or a role-playing game, it will be here on Nixxiom. Yeah. What's Balderton been up to? I have no idea, man. We already talked about him. How did we get to Neoplatonism? Just started talking about history. Twitch and Kick exclusivity. Yeah, I've heard that Twitch is not doing too well lately. I said right at the beginning of the stream that I don't really follow much like drama stuff, but dude, that freaking like Ethan Klein and Hassan shit has been shoved into my face so much. Like, by just algorithm after algorithm. Go on YouTube, it's all I see. Go on Twitter, it's all I see. Like, it is ridiculous. And I've heard that Twitch is under like a lot of in some hot water right now regarding the whole like Hassan situation, because apparently I didn't watch what he did, but something about being like, he said something very sympathetic towards terrorism or something, and he only got banned for 24 hours, and people are calling Twitch out on it, and Twitch is like losing like advertisers. So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully Twitch, it seems like every time like I come back, Twitch is like, you know, something's going wrong with Twitch. Something terrible is happening with Twitch. And I don't know. One day I hope that YouTube becomes the big ultimate streaming platform. I said it. I think YouTube is a better streaming platform overall. It's more convenient. I love it. You know, I can give, like, you know, people that subscribe, like, on the channel or whatever, like, I can give them, like, exclusive videos and whatnot. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see. We have a lot of people who have faith or believe still in 12 gods, but that's fine for me. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that are still, like, you know, like Hellenistic, like revivalists and whatnot. Like, I think I think like traditional European paganism is like the fastest growing religion in the West right now. You know, people going back and following the old Greek gods and like the Germanic gods, and people trying to reconstruct like what's left of Druidism and like Celtic myths and stuff. Like, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people out there, and you know, there's definitely a lot of the silly willies, certainly, that are just kind of like LARPing around. But then there's the serious people too. Like, I've gotten to talk to some very serious Hellenists before, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm gonna kill these last two rothhide mongrels, and my wife is now awake, and we are going to eat food. Do I ever think they should make a Warcraft 2 game? I think they already made Warcraft 2, my friend. But if you mean a World of Warcraft 2, like an MMO, I don't think that's necessary. I think they should just do a big revamp of the game. And they can call it World of Warcraft 2 if they want, but really it should just be like the expansion of all expansions. That's what I think. Shamanism is a very like kind of like umbrella term, you know, because like, what is shamanism? You know, it's like, oh well, you know, it's like, you know, if you practiced like Sather magic back in the day in like, you know, in Denmark, then like you were a shaman. You know, Odin was a shaman. But like if you were a medicine man in the Congo, you're a shaman. You know, if you're a dude that like you retell the stories of the ancestors, you're a shaman. You know, so that's a very like umbrella term. But yeah, I mean, shamanism, like, certainly. Will I do more IRL videos? You know, I've actually been thinking, I'll say this before I have to roll out. I'm also admittingly kind of having a bit of an allergic reaction in the back of my throat. It's grass pollen season, and I definitely breathed some in at some point. So if you ever like have seen me like kind of pausing to kind of like just kind of do that, it's because I'm like kind of scratching the top of my mouth with my tongue because it itches and it's swollen. Anyway, I made a video recently where I talked about the Legion remix, and I made the video out in the woods. I was just hiking, and people really liked that. They thought it was cool that I was just hiking in the woods talking about Legion. So I actually made another video recently. Like, I was out in the woods hiking, and I was like, you know what? I got an idea for another WoW video, so I recorded another video. So maybe that'll become like a common thing for me. That I just like all my videos and my discussions, I'm just like out in the woods, like talking about this new patch or whatever, but like also like showing you guys like a cool thing while I'm out there. Like I even thought the other day of like, oh, maybe at some point I could, I'll make like a whole like video of me just sharing my thoughts on, I don't know, Mists of Pandaria Classic or something, but I'll like be camping out in Yawari National Forest. So it's like a camping vlog. And like, well, I had the idea that like 99% of the video would be me doing a camping vlog. And then like at just one point near the end of the video, I'm like, oh yeah, so I should probably say what I think about Mob Classic. It's pretty good. Anyway, like that's it. I just go right back to like chopping wood or something. I thought that'd be funny. But yeah, I'll definitely bring some more real life stuff into the content just because I think it's fun. You know, doing videos where I'm just sitting here talking to a camera, like it's fine, but it's kind of boring. You know, I'd rather go out and do something. I also would like to take you guys fishing with me at some point. So maybe one of my videos, I'll be talking about Hardcore Classic or something, and the video will start with me just fishing. I'm like, what's up, guys? Like, figured I'd take you out here to catch some fish while we talk about Hardcore Classic. So I'm probably not going to play Mop Classic. I might maybe a little bit to play that like Pandaren Brewmaster but I'm not really that excited to do it. Like, I just played Remix. I'm content with Remix. But I mean, maybe I'll check it out. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. Teach us how to juggle. I don't know how to juggle. But anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for keeping me company and getting me on different topics. Sorry if I kind of like bounced around, but definitely a lot of fun. I will be back tomorrow, probably a little like later at night, because we have to go to the OB tomorrow for our baby's checkup. And then I have to meet with my friend Michael, who is actually my business partner when it comes to Coffee Mancer. I have to yell at him a little bit. I've been kind of talking about Coffee Mancer every now and then, like in a video or two here and there, just like, oh, you know, Coffee Mancer, you know, try our coffee. And I've been wanting to do this big website update for a while, and also like get like our final stamps like on our bags and stuff made, but it's a long story. But my friend kind of dropped the ball with a few things and kind of put us 2 months behind schedule. I'm a little pissed off about that, so I'm gonna go yell at him tomorrow evening. But when I get home, probably late at night, might be like 11 o'clock at night, like it's gonna be a late stream, but I will be live, and maybe we'll play, like, I don't know, we'll play something relaxing. We'll play Fable or something, I don't know. Or maybe I'll just do it just chatting. I'll just sit here and we'll talk shit about, like, you know, Mr. Six and Not Alive Zombie and Real Dev and Torin and Arnold Plorks and Nixxiom. Like, we'll talk shit about these guys like all night. It'd be great. But just want to drop a thank you for all the fun videos you posted along this time. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, man. It's good to be back, guys. I apologize that life, you know, has gotten busy for me recently, but things have calmed down. The child is born. The wife is happy. I'm happy. What is it? You were walking up to me really weird, so I got scared. You were trying not to what?
Creak the floor.
Why would you not want to creak the floor?
Because I don't want to be loud.
You can be loud. Like, darling, like, you might have dropped that child, but you still fat as hell. Like, it don't matter, like, if you trying or not. Like, you're going to be creaking those wood floors. You did lose 20 pounds. I'm really proud of you. It's Pringle. Hey, kitty. Do you guys want to see my kitty? Hold on. Kitty, come here. He ran away. Do you want to get my kitty so I can show them the kitty? He always smells bad. You guys have seen my one cat, Loki, the black one, but I don't think you guys have seen Pringle. See, my wife named our black cat, and then this is Pringle. I named this one. Oh. This is Pringle. He's a good boy. He likes to rip ass. Like, dude, this cat, like, hold on, let me pick him up a little bit better. This cat will rip some galactic tier ass. He will clear out any room that he is in. Isn't that right? Just like my daughter, dude. I don't know what it is about everyone in this house, but like my daughter, this cat, my wife, like everyone just rips so much ass. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, he's very fluffy. He's got a duster for a tail. Yeah. He's also like, so again, this is Pringle. He's also really dumb. And like when I say this cat is dumb, I mean like he's like kind of dumb. Like, I don't think he even knew that we existed for like the first like month that we had him. He would just walk by us. He still doesn't know his name. Pringle. Anyway, like, he still don't know his name. Still don't know half the time where his food is. He gets lost and scared. Like, he's kind of dumb. But that's kind of why we like him. And that's why I think the name Pringle fits him so well. Because he's just simple, like a Pringle potato chip. My orange cat is the exact same. Now, our one cat, Loki, he's cool. Like, he's actually like a smart, intelligent black cat. You know, like he's really cool around the baby and stuff. Pringle will just be like, baby. And he'll just like walk all over her and like try to like kill her and stuff without. So yeah, so we gotta watch Pringle, but Loki's cool. Yeah. Is he deaf? I don't know. I just think he's dumb. And that's why I love him. But anyway, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna take some allergy medication. So my throat feels really bad, I admit. Like really bad. And I'm gonna eat some food. I'll be here tomorrow late in the evening. We'll do something. I'll be here Wednesday doing whatever. And you guys are really cool. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for just being awesome. Thanks for being patient with me while I've been rebuilding this freaking house and pushing a baby out. And I'll see you guys soon.